1 second. Good morning, America. America, did you know that today is the International Falafel Day? Not a lot of people knew that. I like to think that in this channel, you you get an opportunity to get the breaking news first. International Falafel Day. Anyway, good morning, America. I hope you're well. I'm just getting my bearings. Yours truly, I think I'm going for a medical scan soon. I think I've torn something called a rotator cuff, and so certain workout regimes are really difficult for me. So I'm not quite sure what I have done. Anyway, my health issues aside, we're here to trade the US markets, whatever else we want to trade. Wow, your president has been active this morning, huh? That's a lot of Truth Social. Whoops, didn't actually mean to do that. Lots of... Wow, he's short and to the point. The China deal is great. Of course it is. Everything you do is great. Make America great again. Something along the lines of, I wanted to say to the Americans, but maybe I should keep my mouth shut. I'm going to Florida and then to Los Angeles in October. So if you're interested in meeting me in Orlando or in Los Angeles, I'll soon announce the circumstances. So here we are. Dow closed yesterday at 42.8. Big sell-off towards the close. Couldn't hold on to the gains, and here we are trading significantly lower, but trading at the low end of the range. With this kind of price action and what we're seeing now on the daily chart, we got a double top. We're trading below yesterday's low. Doesn't look particularly bullish. However, we're day traders, so we have to factor in that even if we're bearish, we have to be able to establish some sense of money management. Bar 1 on the 10-minute went down and flirted with the low end of the range. This is the Dow. The Nasdaq, much stronger, flirting with the top end. So if you're sort of contrasting the two, you want to be short the Dow and long the Nasdaq, or just long the Nasdaq. Or you can do what I did. I shorted gold down here and got my ass absolutely handed to me subsequently. Not a great trade. But I took revenge, bought the DAX. You can't see that, so. But when we traded at bar 65, what I really liked about that bar was that we were closing above 47 and 48, and I thought, well, that looks like a positive accomplishment. You can also see it differently. Look at bar 31. Bar 31, but now on a 10-minute chart. Really strong bull close above. So what I call this, I don't know if you probably heard me say this before, but there's like bull bear bull combination. So you got a bull bar closing at its highs or close to. Following bar is a bear bar. Oh, we're going back down again. Actually, no, we're not. And the reason why I came up with this pattern, and I'm sure I'm not the first one, was that in the past, I would have been ready to short the DAX at 29 low on 30. And reviewing my trades, I realized that I got suckered into a short. So it was the reviewing that made me appreciate what I was doing wrong. Yours truly is struggling today. I did actually have a workout after the European session, and I actually worked my nuts off. I had a fantastic trade on the DAX this morning, if you don't mind me saying so. The European listeners will hopefully agree. The market opened up here. I think I started selling. What was the first entry? 766 was my first entry. It was up here. Then I added at 748, which is here, right down at the double bottom. I went short. That in itself is a chapter worthy of explaining, because normal conventional technical analysis would say, well, shouldn't you be buyer here? And then that wasn't enough. No, I added 10 points lower at 38. So here we go. Short at 66, added 48, added 38, and then closed a lot of it down here at 02. It was a rather big position, has to be said. And then behind the scenes, I did my absolute nuts on gold. And also, I had built up a sizable short position in the FTSE. You can't see that here, but I'm just telling you as it is, because I did post it. So over here around 9 and 10 and 11, I really pushed the short side. Short, and was relatively okay with 13, 14, and 15. At 17, I'm thinking, yeah, this does not look good. And at 19, I got out of my positions. At 19, I knew, yeah, I am, the one that starts with F. But there you go. Anyway, let's see what we can make. My DAX position is entered around here. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Personally, I'm quite relaxed now. Excuse me, I'm just going to get myself a drink. One sec. Apologies. There was a queue at the water cooler. I think I'm just going to trade the school run today, because I'm not really sort of in the mood to think. The Dow's trading inside the range. I'm more bearish than I'm bullish, the Dow. So let's see. I have been invited to speak at the Al Brooks price action course, and I spoke to a gentleman yesterday called Ali Moin. He's speaking. I look forward to catching up with him. And I hope, I know that it's not a cheap event. I'm fully aware of that. Well, I hope to see you there. And if you are in America, or you want to hear me speak, you could come to Los Angeles on the 10th of October, where I am speaking together with a gentleman called, he wrote the book, The Friendly Bear. He's a prolific shorter. I think it's the 10th of October, Friday the 10th of October. But I will post more details. We were talking about the rule of 4 earlier. I generally don't like using the rule of 4 if the market doesn't really react overly to the news being released. And I thought this candle here wasn't exactly an inspiring candle. This candle here. But if it had been, then this would have been 1. This is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. And that means you're short below. You're probably going to be spared there if you give yourself a 5-point margin for error. And you would have been long there. So you've been happy a little bit, but then you've been stuck in something, and you would have moved your stop loss to break even, I have no doubt, ahead of the open. And so there you go. Rule of 4, not exactly delivering the goods today in the Dow. Can do the same in the Nasdaq. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, then there's 4. And triggers are short, triggers are long, triggers are short. I mean, if you follow that, you would have been chopped to pieces. Not nice. I don't know if in America you are aware that there was unfortunately a very deadly plane crash out of India on an Air India flight up to London. Tragic, tragic. It wasn't some 30-year-old plane either. It was one of those beautiful Dreamliners. Oof. I can't think of anything worse than being on board a plane where you sense something is not right. Incidentally, when I traveled in India many years ago, I was on a domestic flight and the pilot did a maneuver where they come into land and then they change their mind. It has a name. I don't know what the name is. I heard that it has a name, but it was really unpleasant to be witness to. It happened to me last year as well on an approach into Copenhagen. The plane set down to land and then something triggered a response and it pulled back up again, and all of a sudden you hear the engines rev. That was okay. So we're coming up to the 30 minutes with the second 15-minute candle number 2 is soon to be complete. It's seemingly taking place on a break, would be above the overnight range, and incidentally is also a gap fill. This is the Nasdaq, the Dow is still sat inside the overnight range, and 2 is currently an inside bar of 1. So that sort of highlights what's going. Have I missed anything majorly in the last 4 or 5 bars? Maybe a buy above 4 or a sell above 2. I'm actually okay with not having traded just yet. Yeah, I think we can all agree that this is a tragic, tragic incident. My thoughts and prayers are with the families affected. Oof. Incidentally, I have a follower in the very place where the plane went down, and he took some photos and sent them to me. I haven't had an opportunity to ask him what he saw or heard. So with 1 minute to go, we are firmly sat right in the middle of the candle number 1, which is the first 15 minutes. The market doesn't seem to be in a rush to do anything at all. So here we go. We are firmly establishing buy and sells in the Dow. Now we have to make up our mind, do we want to go anti because it takes place inside the overnight range? So there are the signals popping up. Let me just get rid of the ASIS and just show you the AIS. And let's do the same. Getting rid of ASIS and just showing the SIS. So what that would mean in the Nasdaq, if we went below 21,822, Nasdaq school run traditionally would trigger a short, but it takes place inside the overnight range, so I can't help but thinking we should probably be buyers instead, and we should be buyers on a breakout higher. Dow, same situation. 2 is taking place inside the overnight range, but now, because the high also sits above the overnight range, I have that difficult choice of, do I buy below 2 and do I sell short or buy above 2? So Dow is trading above 2, so please stand by. Oh, I haven't changed the... So I'm shorting the Dow here because it's taking place it's taking place inside the overnight range. So I've shorted the Dow. So the traditional school run would call for a long. I have shorted it above 2 because it takes place inside the overnight range. Let me just type this. Stand by in the Nasdaq for a long position below 2. Bought the Nasdaq. So, the joyous experience of being long Nasdaq and short the Dow. Not sure why half my Dow is closed. Huh. What happened there? Maybe I clicked the wrong button. I think I might have. I'm going to move my stop loss up significantly in the Nasdaq to about 805, 803 to be exact. Honestly, I have no idea what happened in the Dow, why I'm all of a sudden trading half size. Yeah, I think I'm going to close the Dow. Yeah, I closed the Dow. I have no idea what I've done, so sorry about that. Well, hey, Nasdaq's moving. Stand by to take profit here. I'm closing for 50 points in the Nasdaq. Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely fatigued. I think I'm not really in the mood for trading live. In fact, I'm not really in the mood for trading. I decided I'm just going to go and do a vanilla school run, and the beautiful Nasdaq just gave me 50 points at a good size. So I think that's me done for today. I'm just going to rest up and I'll be bright and sprucey for tomorrow. I hope that you can forgive me for the short session. At least we made money, right? That's something. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I need to rest up, because when I feel like this is usually not how I perform my best trades. I get snappy and impatient, and my discipline goes out the window. Fairly happy with the decision to get out of the Dow, and fairly happy with the decision so far in the Nasdaq. Forgive me for the short session, and I will see you tomorrow. You look after yourself, okay? Thanks a lot. I'll post the trades now in the Telegram channel. Thanks a lot, and bye for now, and see you tomorrow.